Why walking away creates intense attraction instantly and makes girls want you more. You think if you just try harder, explain more, and stay available, she'll finally choose you. But the more you chase, the less she respects you. You think walking away means you lose, but walking away is the first time you actually win. Because right now, your whole approach is built on a lie. That your value is something you can negotiate. That if you present your case well enough, if you're patient enough, if you're understanding enough, she'll see what you're worth. No, she doesn't see it. She feels it. And what she's feeling from you is pressure, need, hunger, a man asking to be picked. And the moment a woman senses you're trying to get chosen, you've already told her the truth about you. You don't choose yourself. If you need reminders like this, if you're done with the soft advice that keeps you stuck, subscribe. Not for me, for you. Because the world will constantly hand you comfort. Your phone will constantly hand you distraction. Your emotions will constantly try to bargain. You need truth on repeat until it becomes your default. Here's the thesis, and you need to let it land. Walking away isn't a trick to make her want you. It's a declaration that your life is not up for audition. That's what it really means. Not, I hope she misses me. Not, maybe this will make her jealous. Not, let me post something to get her attention. That's still begging, just in a different outfit. Real walking away is silent, clean, final. It's not punishment. It's not manipulation. It's self-respect. And self-respect is magnetic because it's rare. Now let's build the reasoning ladder, because you don't need motivation. You need clarity. The misconception is that attraction is created by proximity. That the more you text, the more you see her, the more you prove you're consistent, the more she'll attach. So you stay, you tolerate, you swallow your standards, you reply instantly, you double text, you send paragraphs, you show up even when the energy is off, even when she's lukewarm, even when you feel that little sting in your chest that tells you the truth. She's not choosing you the way you're choosing her. And you call it love. You call it patience. You call it being a good man. But the hard truth is this. When you accept crumbs, you teach her you're the kind of man who survives on crumbs. That's called self-abandonment. And self-abandonment always kills attraction. Not because she's evil, not because women are like that. Because attraction is an emotional response to strength, to groundedness, to a man who stands for something. And when you bend yourself into a shape that fits her mood, you don't look like a man with a spine. You look like a man who can be trained. So why does walking away create that instant shift? Why does silence hit harder than your best paragraph ever did? Root cause, your attention is your power. Your attention isn't just a nice thing you give. It's not free. It's not harmless. Attention is currency. Attention is endorsement. Attention is energy. The person who gives more attention than they receive is declaring, I need this more than you do. And need is not attractive. Let me say it in a way that stings for a reason. When you keep reaching for someone who keeps giving you mixed signals, you are telling them you have no standards. You are telling them your time is cheap. You are telling them you'll negotiate your dignity for access. That's why walking away changes the entire emotional equation. Because the moment you stop chasing, you stop providing free validation. You stop being the background noise that makes her feel important without having to earn it. You stop being the safety net. You stop being the guy she can keep around while she figures out what she wants. You stop. And the absence of your attention forces reality to show up. Presence versus silence. Reality versus fantasy. A man who is available because he has nothing going on versus a man who is unavailable because he has a life. When you walk away, she feels the boundary, not as a concept, as a consequence. And consequences create clarity. Here's what it costs you when you don't walk away. It costs you your nervous system. Because you live in that constant micro-withdrawal, checking your phone, rereading texts, trying to decode tone, doing mental gymnastics to interpret busy, waiting for her to give you a moment of warmth like a dog waiting for a treat. It costs you your identity because you start becoming the version of you that you think she'll like. You start censoring, you start performing, you start playing it cool while you're burning inside, you start lying to yourself. It costs you your edge Because men who are busy building something don't have the emotional bandwidth to be on call for someone who's unsure. And it costs you your future, because time spent chasing ambiguity is time not spent building certainty. So here's the reframe that separates men who get respected from men who get used. Walking away is not you trying to create attraction. It's you refusing to participate in a dynamic that requires you to shrink. You're not walking away from her. You're walking back to yourself. Because let's be honest, the part that hurts isn't her. It's the story you attach to her. It's what you thought she represented, the win, the validation, the proof that you're enough. And that's the real trap. You don't want her. You want what you think having her would say about you. That's called outsourcing your self-worth. And women can feel it. They might not name it that way, but they feel the weight of it. They feel the unspoken expectation, please be my reason. And no woman wants to be your reason. Not if she respects you. Not if she's healthy, because when a man makes a woman his reason, he becomes unstable, he becomes reactive, he becomes easy to control. Now listen carefully. The goal is not to control her. The goal is to control you. So what actually happens inside her when you walk away with clean energy? First, her brain loses the predictable hit of your attention. The "he's always there" certainty disappears. And humans don't value what feels guaranteed. We value what feels earned, what feels rare, what feels like it has standards attached to it. Second, your absence creates space for her to feel. When you're always texting, always explaining, always pushing, you don't give emotion room to rise. You smother the moment, you flood the channel, you try to force an outcome. But silence is pressure. Silence is gravity. Silence makes people hear their own thoughts. Third, your walking away signals something primal. You are capable of loss without collapse. That is everything. Because a man who can lose someone and still stand tall is a man who has an internal foundation. He's not built on whoever is next to him. He's built on who he is. That's the man women take seriously. Not the man with the best lines. Not the man who knows what to say. The man who knows when to leave. And this is where your ego will try to sabotage you, because your ego wants to win the moment. Your ego wants the text back today. Your ego wants the reassurance now. But masculine self-respect plays the long game. It says, if it's not aligned, I release it. If it's not mutual, I exit. If I have to convince you, you are not for me. Now let me give you an archetype, because you need a picture in your mind. The man who embodies the solution is not loud. He's not dramatic. He doesn't threaten. He doesn't post petty quotes. He doesn't teach her a lesson. He doesn't pretend he doesn't care while secretly tracking her likes. He's grounded. He wakes up and his day already has a direction. His purpose doesn't pause because someone's energy changed. He trains his body because discipline is self-respect in physical form. He handles his money because he doesn't want to be dependent on anyone's mood. He builds skills because his confidence comes from competence, not attention. And when he meets a woman he likes, he's present, he's direct, he's warm, but he's not needy. He invites, he doesn't chase, he leads with clarity. This is what I'm about. And he watches. He watches her effort. He watches her consistency. He watches whether her words match her actions. And the moment it doesn't, he doesn't argue. He doesn't negotiate his boundaries. He doesn't beg for basic respect. He doesn't linger in confusion like it's romantic. He leaves, not because he hates her, because he loves himself. That man is dangerous in the best way. Not dangerous to others, dangerous to weakness, dangerous to desperation, dangerous to the version of himself that used to settle. That's what you're becoming. Now you want actionable steps. Good. Because inspiration without instruction is just entertainment. Do this and do it clean. First, define what walking away actually means for you. It means you stop rewarding inconsistency. It means you stop being available to confusion. It means you stop participating in conversations that go nowhere. If she's hot and cold, you do not turn into a thermometer. You do not constantly adjust. You become the standard. Second, stop explaining. Stop writing essays. Stop trying to be understood by someone who benefits from misunderstanding you. If a woman is genuinely into you, your clarity feels like relief. If she's not, your clarity will feel like pressure, and she'll call it too much. That's called projection. Third, match energy, then require alignment. You give what you get, and you only invest deeper when it's mutual, not when it's potential, Not when it's she's probably busy. Not when it's she said she's not ready. Translate that correctly. She's ready for what she wants. She's not ready for you. And you don't punish her for that. You just act accordingly. Fourth, when you decide to walk away, you do it without a speech. No grand exit. No good luck finding someone like me. No long message about how she hurt you. You think that gives you power, but it gives her a script where you're the emotional one and she's the rational one. The cleanest power is quiet. You step back. You stop initiating. You stop chasing. If she reaches out with real effort, you respond like a man. Calm, clear. But you do not snap back into the old pattern. And if she doesn't, you don't crawl. You don't check in. You don't send the "just wanted to see how you're doing" text that is really you trying to reopen the door. That's called relapse. Fifth, redirect the energy immediately. Because if you walk away but you sit there obsessing, you didn't walk away. You just changed locations. Your body left, but your mind is still on her couch begging for a seat. So you redirect, you train, you work, you build, you clean your space, you deepen your friendships, you improve your style, you learn how to speak with more presence, you stack wins, small wins, daily wins, because daily wins rebuild identity. You stop making her the center of your emotional universe. Because here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. The reason you're so shaken by one woman's inconsistency is because you're not consistent with yourself. Your sleep is inconsistent. Your training is inconsistent. Your mission is inconsistent. Your boundaries are inconsistent. Your standards are inconsistent. So of course you cling to her attention. It's the only thing that feels like a signal that you matter. But once you become consistent with yourself, you stop needing signals from people who haven't earned the right to define you. Now let's address the fear underneath all of this, because that's what's really driving your behavior. You're afraid that if you walk away, you'll lose her forever. Good. Let that be true. Because if the only way to keep her is to abandon yourself, then keeping her is the loss. If she only values you when you're scarce, then your presence was never valued. Your availability was. If she only wants you when you're gone, then she doesn't want you. She wants the feeling of being wanted. And you are not a drug. You are a man. And a man doesn't beg to be consumed. A man chooses where he invests. Now let's be precise. Walking away can create attraction, yes. Sometimes she will come back. Sometimes she'll text. Sometimes she'll suddenly be ready. Sometimes she'll act right. But the win is not getting her back. The win is that you finally stop being the guy who loses himself trying to keep someone else. Because the deepest form of attraction isn't she wants you, it's you want your life. Read that again in your head. A woman is drawn to a man who is already in a relationship with his purpose, because then she's not responsible for making him feel alive. She gets to join him, not rescue him. So ask yourself the real questions. Are you walking away because you're triggered or because you're aligned? Are you being patient or are you being passive? Are you being understanding or are you being scared to enforce a boundary? Are you staying because you love her or because you're addicted to the possibility? Possibility is a seductive prison. It keeps you paying rent to a future that never arrives. You don't need more tactics. You need a standard. And a standard sounds like this. If it's mutual, I'm all in. If it's not, I'm out. Simple, clean, masculine. Now here's the part where you might try to turn this into a performance. Don't become the guy who walks away every time he doesn't get a response in 10 minutes. Don't become the guy who uses silence like a weapon. Don't become the guy who tries to engineer emotions. That's still need. That's still control. That's still insecurity trying to cosplay as strength. Real walking away is not reactive. It's decisive. It's you saying, I'm not available for half love. And if you've been living in half love, I'm going to talk to you like a man for a second. You've been training people how to treat you. Every time you tolerated disrespect, you taught them you could handle it. Every time you stayed after a boundary got crossed, you taught them your boundaries were suggestions. Every time you accepted a maybe, you taught them you were comfortable being an option. Stop. You stop tolerating. You stop chasing. You stop auditioning. You become the chooser. Because the moment you see yourself as the prize, your behavior changes. You don't rush, you don't overinvest early, you don't cling, you observe, you lead, you stand. And that changes everything. It changes your posture. It changes your tone. It changes your eye contact. It changes the kind of women who respond to you. It changes the kind of relationships you even allow into your world. Walking away isn't about making girls want you more. It's about you wanting you more. It's about you respecting you enough to not negotiate your dignity for attention. And yes, ironically, when you do that, you become more attractive. Not because you're playing a game, because you're finally embodying the truth. You are not here to be chosen. You are here to choose. So here's your identity reset. You are not the man who begs for clarity. You are the man who creates it. You are not the man who chases mixed signals. You are the man who responds to consistency. You are not the man who fears losing her. You are the man who fears losing himself more. You are the answer. Not her text, not her validation, not her mood. You. And if you want more truth like this, more clarity, more standards, more self-respect, subscribe. Not because I need it, because you do. You need a voice that keeps pulling you back to center when your emotions try to drag you into old patterns. You're not alone in this. You're with men who are done being options, done being nice at the cost of their spine, done confusing attention with love. You're building something here. Stay in it.